And the next guest that we're going to announce, the next performer that's going to be at the EJC 2025 is Fenja. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's really cool to have you here. You're going to perform at the EJC Gala show. And you're doing Cyrreal, which Luis and I know almost nothing about other than that we think it's really, really cool to watch. But first, we would like you to start to talk a little bit about your act. What is the name? What is it about? What can we expect to see? Please tell us a little bit about that.
So the act that I'm going to present is called Cyrrealism, and it's taken further from my graduation act that I made in 2022, where I graduated from Coda Circus Arts. And after that, I made a longer show of the act, so like a 40-minute version. And then I got invited to perform at the Young Stage Festival. So there suddenly I had to reduce all the material that I made for the show to a 6-minute act. And then I took basically the most impressive parts of the show and put it back together. So it's kind of like the graduation act, but developed further. And yeah, of course, the name Cyrrealism comes from the surrealism, so the the melting clocks and stuff like this. Yeah. Because in my act, I'm not using the cyrreal in the common way, but I'm making it melt, basically.
Yeah, is that the thought? Because we have seen you kind of break it apart. Exactly. Yes, can you please talk more about that? Because that looks so interesting.
Yes. So it basically started in school when we got the assignment to portray one of our classmates. And I had a juggler to portray, so a club juggler. And he's really like a really creative person and really moving a lot and making shapes and playing around with like everything. Like when he would be talking to you, he's, I don't know, playing around or like creating something. And this was one inspiration to copy his style of personality, but also to get closer to his kind of props. So having, for example, the 5 clubs, my cyrreal can be taken apart into 5 pieces that are all the same size. So I thought I start with this, and then I have 5 white rocking pieces, and I started to create a juggling pattern with it, and try to get.
Can you juggle?
Yeah. Cool. I do love to go to EJCs also, and I've actually been applying to perform at the Gala for a couple of years, and now it's like a dream coming true to perform at the EJC. No, I do also juggle, but of course the metal pieces are quite heavy. They're like 3 or 4 kilo each. So I don't really want to throw them up, and so I because they are round tubes, they can rock on the floor, and they actually rock for quite longer than you would expect. So you have the possibility to let one rock and then pick up another one and create juggling patterns.
Whoa!
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't. I was thinking that it would just tip on the side, but it doesn't. It's a flat base.
It does. No, it is round, so it makes it more difficult. So I really need to make sure to be straight when I let go the tube.
Okay.
Because if I let it go a bit crookedly,
it's falling.
Yeah, it's falling really quickly.
Wow.
Yes, but that's how it started, and then to be able to also do cyrreal technique in that act and to not just come with the pieces separately, I started also trying out things, for example, with the wheel connected, but without the screws. So then it's round and looks basically normal from the outside, but I can open it, or which is also a really nice effect sometimes. If I pick it up from the floor, it's lying flat on the floor, and I pick it up, and you can see that it's like bending a little bit. So it's changing its shape. And in the beginning, you might think it's just a normal steer wheel, but then you see like slightly off what's happening. And and then there came more and more material until I also realized that I can actually even spin on only 2/5 of the steer wheel. So
only two of them.
Yeah, they are together. So it's only 2/5, and it's, for me, it looks a bit like the moon dance, like dancing with a piece of the moon.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. And this is that I can turn on it. Like in the beginning, I thought, I can do half a turn or something, then it stops. But after a while, and after trying for a couple of years, I managed to turn. And I think that actually, like now, it's the beginning of where we started with the steer wheel, when we started waltzing, so just spinning normally. And now I think there's actually a lot of tricks that can still be developed only on 2/5 of the wheel.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's like suddenly just saying, okay, I'm just going to use the top and the body of the club, and then just reinvent everything.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I'm curious, because you said that it's called cyrrealism, something like that, at least. Hope I pronounced it correct. But I'm wondering, in 2022, when you finished your graduation, if I understood you correctly, was that the act cyrrealism, or is that what it's called now?
So it was already called cyrrealism by then.
Yes.
But the act that I described before, like the portrait of my classmate, the portrait of a juggler, was a different act, which also was still very different to my graduation act. Like it had some of the material in it, but a bit more juggling. And I, of course, tried to embody or like take inspiration by my classmates, so maybe less of myself in there. And then in the graduation act, it became more, again, myself and this new title.
And then you put that new thing with your classmate kind of together with the graduation act, and that's what we have now. Or not quite?
I don't think so first there was the portrait of the juggler.
Okay, that was first.
That was first.
Yes.
So that was the main inspiration to take the wheel apart, like to want to make it similar to the clubs of my classmates.
Okay, now I think I understand.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This was in third year of school, and then in the fourth year, I picked up again this material and developed it further for the graduation act, and then I had like 2 years of residencies and making a longer show, which then in the end got confined to this. Like now it's 8 minutes because 6 is really short for me. So yeah.
How
what we're gonna see in HAC.
Yeah, how is the process of kind of reducing, concentrating a big show into an 8-minute act? How was that process for you to pick and choose?
It was really difficult, actually. Like, especially, like in the beginning, I think it went fine. It was quite easy to know which parts I want to have in the act. But then in the end, I ended up with 2 different versions of it, and I just couldn't decide on which one to go for. And also, every people that I asked for feedback and help, like some said that one, some said the other one, like it split it completely. And so this was difficult then to to decide which one to go for. I think what made it also very difficult was that I I created that short act for this competition thing at Young Stage. And there, of course, there were people that I thought, probably these people might like this version better. So there was this splitting between this is what I actually want to do and this is what they probably like best. So what do I do?
What do you do now at EJC? Do you do what you think we will enjoy or what you enjoy?
I do actually want to put in a bit more juggling in the act. So a bit, what I think that you enjoy, but I do also enjoy it. And I know that, I guess the vibe at the EJC with so many jugglers, I just, I'm really curious about the reaction when they see more like classical juggling. Or what is it? But
like real juggling?
That you can really see that it is actually juggling and not cyrreal. So I think I do want to try to put this in a bit more.
I'm also a bit curious about how it's made, since you said that it's metal, and that's also what I've usually seen, just pure metal. But then I've also been curious, are there sometimes a coating around them to make them more grippy in a way? Do you have different ones for different types of surfaces?
So yes, my wheel, so there's all kinds of different wheels. The one that I have is made of aluminum. And then there's a PVC cover around to make it grippy.
It is, okay.
Yeah, totally, for sure. Like without that, I think I would slide a lot or damage the floor. So it's really, really good to have this cover. And I think all cyrreals have some kind of cover.
Okay.
And then, there are some that are a bit softer. So then you need to put a bit more force to spin, or some that are a bit harder. Then you spin quicker or easier, but you might slide easier as well. Yeah. So there's like some pro and cons about that.
How often do you repair the material? Or does it not need repairing? Like once you've got... Is that a silly question?
I did have to... So yes, I did have to repair the wheel a couple of times, or like there's... like what sometimes happens is that the screws that I didn't replace the screws often enough, and then sometimes the head of the screw like breaks off, and then the rest of the screw is stuck inside the wheel, and someone needs to go and drill it out. And this is really fine work and sometimes takes a lot of time. So this sometimes happens, but now I'm more careful exchanging the screws more often, and also I exchange my screws for like harder ones that are a bit more, that I thought, then they don't break off the head. Exactly. But what then happened is that instead of the screw breaking, the inside of the I don't know how you call these
the nut
rifts. Yeah. So they would
come loose
or like dissolve basically, and then you have lots of little pieces of metal flying around. So I have a couple of screws or like holes in the cyrreal that cannot grip a screw anymore, or a bolt, like they don't want to take the bolt anymore. And then I had to make it a bigger one, like do I don't know how to call it. Like, there's different sizes of bolts. And they fit exactly in their hole. But then you make the hole one size bigger and you use a bigger bolt, and then you're there again. I have a couple of these. Yes. But then this also is a problem. Sorry.
No, you go.
Because I also used the bolt to juggle, actually, in my act.
Wow!
And then suddenly I had a bigger one, and I needed to get used to that bigger bolt, which is annoying. Not working so well. But,
Cool. How many steer wheels do you have?
3.
3. And are they all designed for exactly this act?
No, they're completely normal steer wheels. Okay. They don't have any special things on them. Okay. But they are all used in my act. So I use all 3 of them.
But are they all different, like different types of hardness, so that some are more sticky, some are more that you can spin faster, as you said? No, okay,
cool.
They are all the same.
Yeah.
Like I think on the second one I wanted to make it 1 centimeter taller, and then on the third one I thought, no, actually the centimeter smaller is fine. So they're a little bit different in sizes, but nothing else is different.
It's very interesting. I'm really interested in how are you going to turn it into like steel wheel and juggling, and then you got the ball and you're juggling the balls. This is all very interesting, very exciting.
Actually, I don't have the balls.
The balls,
balls.
I understood like balls.
Yeah.
People often mishear him. It's okay.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, I've got a funny accent.
And also how you kind of like they're usually connected like this, but sometimes I've seen that you connect them in different ways as well, like that as well. I think it's going to be really interesting for many people because I've never seen anything of it before I checked your Instagram, basically. How do you think it's going to feel to perform in front of one of the biggest circus stages that we have, the EJC Gala? How is it going to feel for you to stand there and perform your act?
For sure, I'm going to be very nervous, I think. Especially there's like one trick that's really a juggling trick where I have the bolts and one of my serial tubes. And I let the screw or the bolt slide through that tube, let it go. The tube is rocking and the bolts like comes out on the other side.
Okay.
So
yeah.
It slides through and yeah. Exactly. And it's a really fine. It makes a big difference when I let go of the bolt and when of the wheel part. So it's very likely to not work at the first time sometimes. So this I'm going to be nervous about because I know it's a trick that will please all the juggler minds, I guess.
Yeah.
But also I know how supportive this community is. So I think I'm not too worried actually, because I feel like, it's going to be a good vibe and going to be really fun to perform. Also because we have 4 shows, so I can get a bit into it and actually really enjoy. Yeah, that's nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's funny how I feel like a lot of people say that it's kind of, they're going to be super nervous because they are performing in front of people that understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they feel comfortable because they know that they're that supportive. So it's kind of this strange feeling in a way, or the vibe that they kind of get from the performers when they talk about how they think it's going to be, which is really interesting. Yeah.
I think so, yeah. And I think that you can also feel that they appreciate more all the research that you did.
Like the small details.
Yeah, little details. And also I kind of, like if I perform in a variety, for example, I have a couple of tricks that I only do because I know that the audience are gonna like them, or they like is mostly of the time is like spinning and then they start clapping. And if I do a champagne or some trick that I really like and that I know is difficult or like something else, they're like not understanding it or like not really appreciating it the same way as a circus community would do that understands it more.
Yeah. Exactly.
How many times have you performed this act?
Yeah, this exact one.
This exact act. Yeah.
Maybe like I just had a really long contract or like not a long contract, but like 10 shows a week. So there I got a bit more used to it. So I think maybe by now it's maybe like 60 times.
Wow, cool.
Or yeah, but before that contract, that was a month long, 10 shows a week. So before that, it wasn't so many times yet.
Okay.
Like I started performing it May last year.
What was that?
So almost a year.
Yeah. Nice. And then one final question. What do you want the audience of the EJC to be left with or to remember after they've walked outside of the tent after your act and the whole show is finished?
I did hear from some jugglers when they saw my act, they say best serial act I've ever seen.
Oh wow!
Just because they are more relating to that kind of serial than to just round serial, maybe. I mean, this would be, of course, really nice to leave at this. On the other hand, I know that last year there was Marika performing at the EJC, which is absolutely amazing in her way of doing like the full serial. Yeah, but I hope to maybe inspire a bit.
Yeah.
And there's possibilities to take something from my act into their training or into their daily life. Yeah, would be nice.
To inspire them to use you as an inspiration in a way.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like to do like how I basically did with my act, that I took a juggler as my inspiration. So maybe it can be reversed. I don't know. But it's also something that I haven't thought about yet. So now it's just what's coming up right now. And it might be gibberish. I'm not sure.
No.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think that's great actually, to kind of use things or take things from different kind of professions in a way and make it your own. I think it's a really cool way to kind of collaborate in a way as a community to create new things. So yeah, I think that's a great thought and a great way to end this interview. So Fenja, very much the best luck at the EJC this year. We're going to be rooting for you, and thank you so much for joining this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And also, please finish up doing this to the camera. Come on.
Boom. I'm just going to test the audio. Just give me 1 second. Ivan, say your name, Ivan.
Avin.
Fenja, can you say your name?
Fenja.
Fenja, okay. Sorry. Forgive me. Okay, let me check the audio. Give me.
Like Fenja.